Yeah, hello everyone. Aaron and Big C. Yeah, just waiting for everybody a bit more volume of people to get into the lobby, and then I will officially start the stream and go through everything with you. Just get up tables and everything for this league. An hour early. I never thought I'd say that. Yum yum. Yeah, if any of you want to post a link around anywhere, make sure your friends are watching, make sure everybody in GL is aware that the stream is up and running. Obviously, I'm going to be the commentator for tonight. Normally it wouldn't be me, I'd normally be doing F1, but I've been substituted in for F2, and it's a privilege after being sacked from the Canadian commentary for the likes of Aaron and Jamie. And I don't know if I speak for everyone, but I definitely speak for myself when I say I'm glad that they're gone. Also joining me in the commentary box as well, it was a bit of a last minute rush, but Lickle Blocks will be joining me for the first half of the stream just to get a few words in there, seeing some experienced drivers and probably getting a bit of a sneak peek at some of the France data for his own race, which will be happening at 8 PM, so if you tune in for F1 as well. But yeah, say hello, Lickle.
Hello, Lordy. How are you?
Lickle, I couldn't be better on this sweaty Monday afternoon. How about yourself?
Yeah, couldn't be better to be here. Definitely be interested to see what the strategy is in the faster divisions. Perhaps really has been medium soft has been the quicker strategy in the lower division. I want to see some of these top quality drivers and what they do tonight. That's what I'm interested about.
Lickle, I have to agree profusely with that comment. You know, some of these drivers in this tier, they want to prove themselves. They want to make sure that they can get to the top division, which is obviously F1, which everybody wants to watch and everybody wants to participate in. But a lot of them, has to be said, Lickle, probably bottling it under the pressure, under the English heat out here tonight. And let's hope that France can offer, you know, like it has in previous divisions. In F4 it was a pretty decent race, and in F I think it was 6, wasn't it? It was an absolute fantastic fight for the last couple of places. So let's hope F2 can produce something as spectacular as the lower divisions.
Definitely. Well, I'll be looking to watch some drivers, some people like Mark SB and Wama. I do believe them two are top of the championship, tied on I think 34 points. I'll just check F2 Twitter and I'll get the standards up for you, but the two Northern Irishmen quite close to each other. They'll be both looking to try to get into the top league, the best league in PSGL season 24.
Yeah, they are definitely looking to be the top dogs. There are a few people in F1 that are under the cusp of the limit and are struggling immensely. You know, like Big C, he's one of these people who, like I've been rumoured to hear before, retirement is on the card. The question marks above his head. Is it his final season in the top division? We will wait and see. He's had a pretty slow start to the season, but he will be looking to improve. He's been very consistent, but it has to be said, consistently shit. So if you're listening, Connor, I love you, but it's not been going very well. Just checking the standings as well, look, as you mentioned before, we have Mark SP leading the way in the Haas with 34 points, tied at the top, as you said, with Wama in the Mercedes, closely followed by Mr. Frotcher himself, Jay Frotcher. And obviously Cliffy would be P4, but Cliffy's a crybaby and leaves when it's not going his way. So bye bye, ciao ciao, see you later. Oh god, just looking for the constructors as well, Lickle. As we can see, Mercedes topping the table. Obviously Cliffy again had it all in his hands. He was at the top of the Constructors' Championship with Wama, doing a fantastic job with a total of 58 points. But Wama's going to have to do it all on his own now, which I think he'll rise up to the task, and I think he'll do a very decent job. He has done so far. But you've got the likes of Jack Lacey and Mark SP. Obviously Mark carrying Jack Lacey, because Jack Lacey's had a DNS, a DNF, a DNF and another DNS. That man doesn't want to attend, he doesn't want to be here. And Mark SP carrying the Haas drivers in the constructors as well. So a poor showing from Jack Lacey.
just want to notify that there was a bit of a driver transfer, or not driver transfer, but a new addition to the F2 grid. We have LR Nick joining the Mercedes team, taking over from Cliffy, so that definitely will help Wommer in his fight for the Constructors' Championship. Nick is I've watched Nick a few times, can be quick on his day, but when it's not his day, he's abysmal, and hopefully today it can be one of his days. Get a really good debut under his belt.
Yeah, it's always nice to see fresh new talent in some of these leagues. Obviously the first season in PSGL is always the trial period. You know, we want to test people's pace, we want to see how people cope in these divisions, we want to see these young drivers progress up the field. We've had chopping and changes in F4, we've had people go down to F6, up to F3, up to F2, and it's been an absolute switch fest. But let's see if these drivers can prove and live up to their potential, because I'm sick of seeing shit. I want to see golden drivers that can grasp the opportunities and take them with full force, instead of these shitty drivers that just bottle it under pressure and lose it, like myself. Don't know about you, Lickle, but myself is definitely a very good indication of not how to race in PSGL. I'm very clean, but I'm very bad. So, you know.
You had your day back in the 2013-2014 days, Lordy, but now it's 2019. Now it's 5 years ago. It's time for new talent, such as F4 driver Taze Leroy, 11 years old, coming through the ranks. Expect to see him maybe in F2 if he keeps going at his pace, because last night he was tremendous. He had pace at F1 drivers, that young man. Unfortunately, he does use ABS. So
and
as
traction.
You said, it's time to get and traction, does he?
And automatic.
Oh no way! He can't be that fast and automatic. He told us last night he uses manual and no traction.
At the start of the season he had every assist on, so I doubt he's transitioned that quickly. Whether he has is up to him, and if he wants to share that with us publicly and prove it, then that is his obviously decision. But when you're dominating an F4 grid, when you're using every assist, there's going to be question marks above your head whether you can compete at the higher levels. But you know, another driver who's come through the ranks is Nino in F4. Nino, brilliant, lovely guy to speak to, and he's fantastic F1 racer, and it's brilliant to see a man like him putting every ounce of his effort into these races, and he's getting the points that he deserves, Lickle.
Yeah, indeed. But that's enough about the F4 drivers. Now, this is an F2 stream. We're here to talk about the F2 drivers, see what they can do around Circuit Paul Ricard in France.
Just loading in. Elon taking his time, unsure of which tyre select screen and which tyre selection he should pick. Obviously I'd opt for the harder compound, get to grips with the harder compounds, then go out on the softs, maybe midway through the session get to grips with the extra grip that they provide, but then do the lap on the mediums. But it doesn't even matter, because it's pissing it down. It's absolutely torrential at the circuit. What a Paul Ricard, that's it, nearly forgot. And here we are, and Jesus Christ, it is lashing it down.
Indeed, Lordy. Well, that's going to throw people's strategies right up. You don't know now. People might start on mediums, they might start softs, we just don't know. It's a smart one to start on mediums, get fresh mediums when you have rain like this. It allows you to opt for so many different strategies. You can either go for the softs or the hards. It's a no-brainer really for me. If anyone starts on soft, I think they're lacking a few brain cells, if you want me to be honest, Lordy.
Lickle, that's your personal opinion, and we always take opinions with open arms here at PSGL, but your opinion is useless. So just refrain from insulting these pedigree drivers who are at the pinnacle of their F1 careers. Thank you very much. You know, the likes of that laggy person, Lickle, at the pinnacle of his career so far. He was dwindling in F6 for seasons before this, but no, he's pushed his way through the ranks. He was in F4 for a brief period, dominated half a season, and now look at him in the likes of F2, challenging for F1 spots. And this man, currently in P14 because nobody set a lap, but this man is going to look to bite the cherry when it comes out, and to grasp every opportunity and to thrust himself into the podium places.
Indeed. Well, I'm going to be watching this man, Mark SB123 in the Haas. This is a pad track in my opinion. It's raining, it's the perfect combination. I expect no one else apart from this man to get pole position. He's been rapid this game, he's made major improvements. He said he wasn't even going to sign up for PSGL, but here he is, contesting for the F2 World Championship glory.
Yeah, I have to agree. We've got the likes of the retired QPR beasts in the chat. So hello to Louis out there. You didn't think I'd be in the commentary box, did you, Louis? But here I am, commentating on the pinnacle of PSGL, F2 and F1. How far I've come. Anyway, enough about me as we watch the Ferrari go around the track of Samster F1. This man, he's had an okay season so far. Not too shabby. Been a bit hit and miss in a few races. Obviously wants to improve, with the likes of Praga outshining him at the moment. But a solid P9 in the championship isn't something to snuff at. He did have 2 DNFs at the start of the season, but he did pick up a podium in Spain. So Samster looking to prove himself. He's clearly got the pace around some circuits if he can hook the lap up. So he'll be one to watch out, I think, for me.
Yeah, I'm just on board with TTG Jack, the first man who was on a lap, and he's drifting that Alfa Romeo all over the place. He's got no grip in this car. It's torrential, as some of these drivers might be thinking. Could it be wet? Because the way Jack's going around, he's all over the place, really. It's not looking good. It's not been that quick from him. I reckon there's a lot of time in this lap, and wets could be a viable option.
Yeah, another man who's also struggling with the conditions is CC Brain as he takes to the runoff area on his lap. So clearly struggling with the lack of downforce and the lack of traction, especially around this slippy, slimy surface of Paul Ricard.
Yeah, indeed. Very challenging condition. And my boy Jackie's going to be drifting. Oh, he took way too much that inside curve, and he's throwing this Alfa Romeo into the corners. He's trying to get as much time as he can out of this car. And I really don't think, if I can actually speak, this ain't going to be the best from him, because he's been drifting all over the place. He's been playing rallycross. This is rallycross for him. This is not F1.
Yeah, that man doesn't know an apex when he sees it, but it's been a decent effort actually from him. It's very difficult out there, especially with no assists. So fair play to the guy. He has kept it on the circuit and not in the barrier like some drivers so far, and he does set a 143.5.
Yeah, just back to Mark SB. I think this man forward would it be Lawman's? If Lawman's just ahead of Mark SB, Lawman's be a good person to see where he is, what's happened really.
Yeah, Lewis, I don't know if whether he aborted the lap or just wanted to move out the way for Foxy Dude, but they were very close on track and had a bit of a twitch of the steering wheel and lost the rear end and had to peel off onto the runoff area. I think being very courteous to Foxy Dude, as Mark SP sets a 141.4, 42.4 I should say, and goes pole position currently, as we're going to watch Foxy Dude go P3 in the set of intermediates. Where's my boy Samster? That's who I want to be on board with. Very cautious through the middle sector from Samster. Oh, he's ran wide. Is he running a dry setup on this car? It's looking horrendous from Samster. He's crawling around the circuit. I think we'll switch off to somebody else who is looking a bit more competitive. Maxi Luke is out there in the racing point as well. I think Glock is going to be the next one across the line. No, he's not, because he's in the first sector. I've completely lost my bearings.
Slow.
Yeah. Aylar Nick finding his feet out there. Laggy person on the lap, also known as Lewis Millam. Just scrolling through the field.
What about one in the middle end of the set there, and he's backed off his lap as well. A lot of drivers seem to be not getting it right in these tricky conditions. As CC Brain, I think he's the only one with a proper fast lap now, I think, to be honest. Or one of the furthest ones, should I say.
Nah, laggy person. Like I said earlier, there's a yellow flags in sector 2 and 3, so people... Oh my god, that Alpha's all over the shop. Lewis wringing every ounce of performance out of this Alpha as he can. As he comes into the last sector, he's keeping it in second gear, Lickle. So very interesting from Lewis. Maybe he's struggling with the traction, doesn't want them high revs. Puts it up into hot lap as he crosses the line. And P6, that's solid. That is solid for a first running from that laggy person.
Yeah, definitely. But as you said, that Alpha, in fact, both Alphas look all over the place. has Big Fred, as I like to call him, has he done something dodgy with those cars? Last time when it was raining in real life, they both got disqualified, and you want me to be honest, Lordy? Something looks dodgy on them Alphas once again.
Yeah, and it's not just the drivers sitting inside them that look dodgy, it's also the bodywork on him. And the Alphas doing a decent job so far in P6 and P7, but just on board with Lewis 11004 as he comes across the line. It looks very aggressive, but it's an absolutely horrendous lap because he's invalid, I think.
Someone to watch is Wommer. He's purple in the first sector to Mark Espy, who's going to compare the middle sector. And Mark Espy with a 31 dead, Wommer indeed set 31 dead as well. They're literally bang on, Lordy. It's going to be really close. See who can get pole.
Yeah, we do have some dodgy camera angles trying to watch one. We're like, what the hell is this? That is rubbish. Anyway, ignore the dodgy Codemasters camera angles and let's keep on board with Wommer. It's currently P13, one of the only people not to set a lap currently, but as Littleblocks is saying, this man is flying. He's currently in the lead of the championship, well, joint in the lead of the championship with Mark SP, but this man is giving it everything as he's coming around the final corner. He's got on the traction beautifully, not even a twitch or a twirl from this man, and he's going to go P4, so a bit disappointing in the final sector from Thomas, but solid lap for his first lap, so shouldn't beat himself up about it.
Indeed, well, AMK or Mark SB, in fact, sorry, he is about 10th and a half up on his lap. He's got the whole roster, so of Lawman's up to Lango, 3 tenths of 3, but 142 dead, half a second clear of the field. Great lap from him.
Yeah, that man definitely setting down a marker as I watch LR Nick. He's struggling all over the shop. This is definitely a genuine lap and he is going to cross the line and it will put him P8, so it's actually pretty decent, but very cautious from that man in the Mercedes as we're going to go on board with somebody who probably hasn't set a lap yet. No, they're both on out laps. Maxi Luca, I think this man before, oh my days, on the straight, definitely not short shifting in that racing point. All over the shop from Maxi Luca. Oh no, it's unhealthy. Lickle, I feel a bit sick. Watching him go around. It's making me nauseated.
Yeah, he's definitely throwing this racing point around. He looked very scruffy.
Yeah, I was in the party chat with him earlier and he was banging on about how quick he was around here, but he's definitely not showing it. The revs are going to 12,000, Lickle. So this man clearly not a wet weather master as he's keeping the revs way too high. And obviously putting it in first gear for the final corner when a lot of people have been opting for second gear to obviously keep the revs and the traction at minimum as he's ran out of Urs coming to the line, but it's a P5. So Maxi Luca may look scruffy, but he has put it in a decent position so far. Still miles off Mark SP, 9 tenths exactly, but not too shabby from him.
Indeed, well, to be fair, both those racing points have had a shocking start to the season. Pretty sure both dead last in the championship or somewhere near there. But to be 5th and 6th, they're proving a point. They've got something to prove, these two guys. Both have a big pedigree in other leagues. And to be fair, Max has a bit of a pedigree in this league. So they'll be looking to prove a point, those two racing points.
Yeah, a lot of these drivers are on the cusp of either F1 or F3. They just dwindle in the motions. But some of these drivers on their day, like you say, can perform to the max. And we're going to see TTG Jack start a lap. I thought he actually was on one, but I think he's backed off and he has got more ERS to use. So we won't go on board with him for the moment. I've got Jay Frotcher in the Williams, currently a 143.5. Definitely not good enough by his standards at the moment, but I think looking to set a quicker lap as he ploughs his way down, shifting very aggressively into 4th gear and then down all the way. He's going to keep it in 3rd. Normally I would opt for 2nd gear there, but it is wet, so obviously keeping the traction and the revs at a minimum to get the max amount of grip out of this Williams. Shifts into 4th gear, keeps the revs below 10,000 if possible, but then lights up the rears as he enters the long straight with the DRS assisted straight. Obviously DRS not available because it is in the intermediate conditions, but he's going to enter the chicane now into sector 2 as he does cut the inside, but it's the racing line for everybody, I think. Short shifts very early. Does not want these revs going above a certain limit in the Williams. Lickle, if you want to take us on board with the rest of the lap, but it is looking quite mighty from him so far.
Yeah, Jay Frotch, I do believe third in his championship. He will be looking to gain in his rivals such as Mark Espy. And in fact, Womo, he's gone second. I didn't see that, Lordy. Good lap from Tom. But Jay Frotcher, he's got something to prove. He wants to jump ahead both. He wants to get to F1. I'm not sure if he uses ABS or not. But if these drivers want to get to F1, whoever uses ABS better start getting it off quick. Because F1, for the foreseeable future, will be no ABS and no traction.
Yeah, you've got a very good point. I think they're trying to implement it in F2 as well for future seasons. But Jay Frotcher, regardless of what assist he's using, puts it in P number 5. I think Skeven, I know it wasn't, it was TTG Jack who went up to P number 7 as well with a 43.0. So them two definitely proving a point to some of the haters out there who would not appreciate their racecraft. 5th and 7th respectively is a very good performance from both of them so far. You've got the likes of
Max! Oh, you Jackson, and he's into the barriers. Sorry to interrupt. It's big. His wheels off. See you later, Max.
And as you can hear, folks, Maxi Luca, the man who's got the pace, bites the dust here at France. He's currently P7 with a 42.9. But his qualifying session with 5 minutes remaining has come to an end. So poor Maxi Luca can't keep it out of the barriers, even round France when you don't even see barriers. So he will be starting currently in P7, but I think people will be improving as the conditions do improve. Cool.
Yeah, I'm just on board with Praga. Praga 3 tenths up in the first sector, and that currently we're moving up to 8th place. They're guaranteed more time to be gained in this lap. The track is getting drier. The rain's starting to ease a little from what I can see on my screen, Lordy. I'm not sure if it's similar to you. That's going to mean drivers going to be gaining a lot of time, and people like Maxi Luca will be dropping even further down the grid. Praga's almost 5 tenths up in his lap, so he's going to be going to about the 3rd row of the grid. 4th row of the grid, sorry.
Yeah, completely missed CC Brain as well. Was struggling with it initially with the first parts of this race, but this man has put it in P3. He's going to cut the pit lane, so we're going to go on board with Praga. But just very impressive lap from CC Brain. Been under scrutiny, especially in FP and in F2 with some of the performances he's been showing. Not been on the pace, but when Cornelius is on the pace, he knows what to do with it. And P3 at the moment in the wet is a fantastic performance from him. We're just going to see Praga now, as you said, through the final couple of corners, locking up the front right. As he comes through the final corner, lighting up the rear tyres. I haven't seen revs like that from anybody else, but Praga puts it P4 with the 142.5, so very impressive from him.
This track's definitely drying. Times are getting quicker and quicker. Expect Mark Espy to maybe get to low 41s. How quick this track is improving. More running, making it more grippy, as Norman's absolutely messed the pit entrance up.
Yeah, people not remembering where the pit entry is because they're useless. But someone who isn't useless, well, he's been useless for the start of the season, but he's definitely a quick driver because I've raced with him personally, is Skeven, currently in P10 and on the lap so far. This is looking very mighty and very clean. Keeps it in second gear, short shifts very early into third, keeps the revs at a minimum as he's coming across the line. Here we go, Skeven, it sets a 142.1, P2 from the racing point. That'll definitely boost his confidence for the rest of the season if he can keep it there. Fantastic from that man.
Indeed, that man, what a lap from him, Lord. He has cars are all over the place, shafting left and right. Samson's got to navigate his way through this traffic very quickly, whereas trying not get invalid. Last runs for these drivers, I imagine.
Yeah, everybody coming out. It's like cows being forced into a pen. It just doesn't look healthy. But a man who definitely is healthy and beaming with sunshine is Foxy Dude, currently in P6 at the moment and definitely on his lap. He's 6 tenths up in the middle sector. This man is blazing a trail for everybody else. This will put him P1 if he can maintain the speed that he is going up. Oh no, he's ran wide. We'll stay on board with him regardless because the lap's still going to be good, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was invalid. He's lost buckets of time going wide there. Very unfortunate for Foxy Dude as he also runs wide on the long left-hander that normally you'd take in second or third gear, but he's revving it. I think he's a bit annoyed under the helmet there. Steam coming off this man's ears as he enters the final couple of corners, round the final hairpin, and here he comes now to the line. Is it going to be a decent lap from it? It is. It's going to be a 1:42.3, puts him 4th for the moment, but it could have been a lot better.
Indeed, he lost half a second on his final sector. And with this track drying, Lordy, I reckon there would have been another couple of tenths in there. I reckon he lost a good 7 tenths in that final sector to his personal best.
Yeah, a lot of these drivers, like you say, coming around now, skating on ice, blades of glory. These drivers look like, as Samster puts it on pole with a 1:41.8. Fantastic lap from Samster. We're just going to stay on board with Glock in the Renault, because Glock's looking very mighty as he comes through the long left-hander and then the sweeping right-hander. That's kind of like a mini straight. But here he comes. It's very tidy from this man. It's looking quick from the Renault driver. It's very neat from the Renault driver. Glock currently in P14, struggling the entire session. Can he put it on pole position? It's a 1:42.3. It's P4 for that man.
Yeah, that watched Wommer. Wommer's 4.5 tenths up. That would be good enough to put him near the front. And with this track drying, it's going to get quicker and quicker through the final sector. Expect this guy to be on pole.
Yeah, like you say, I'm watching Wommer with all my eyes available. I can't take my eyes off this man. The Mercedes merchant, here he comes. He's harvesting every possible ounce. He's got DRS not available, but goes pole position. That's supposed to say ERS available for him. But pole position from Wommer with a 1:41.5. Fantastic lap from that man.
Yeah, but Mark Espy a 10.5 up on his lap. And he's not improving like these other drivers. Has he made some sort of small mistake? I'm just going to double check, because maybe it was check. He set a 20. Yeah, he gained 4 tenths to his PB in the middle sector, but he was 2 tenths down in the first sector. This could cost him pole position for the French Grand Prix. Final laps for everyone now, and Mark Espy is the man to be watching.
Yeah, I was going through other people, because obviously other people are crossing the line before Mark SP, like Samster, who puts P2, and Lewis, who puts it P3. So a fantastic effort from the Renault driver in P3 currently. But here comes Mark SP. Can he dethrone Wommer? And he can! It's a 1:41.4 from that man. Fantastic from Mark SP, putting Wommer down a peg. I think laggy person. Oh, Lewis impeding his teammate, I think, as well there as he goes off the track. Just caught a glimpse of that. Definitely not getting out of the way. He wasn't a hot lap, good old laggy person, but impeding his teammate maybe a little bit. Here he comes, TTG Jack, and he's going to go P7. Fantastic from him. Who else is out there look all on a lap?
Oh, Jake Frotcher second. Only 10 thousandths off pole. But interestingly, Wommer's gone for another one. He's a 10th up. His teammate LR Nick is just ahead. I'm watching Wommer.
Yeah, CC Brain, P6. We've heard enough for Wommer for the moment. We've got all the drivers coming across the line. CC Brain, fantastic P6. LR Nick is about to cross the line as well. Here he comes. He's 3 tenths up and he goes P11. P11 from LR Nick.
Wommer's gone pole, 1:41.3. Nabs it from AMK or Mark Espy. In fact, just think that mistake has cost AMK pole position. Costly from him.
The man from Northern Ireland, Mr. Wommer himself. Well, they're both from Northern Ireland, but anyway, the man from Northern Ireland, Mr. Wommer, Thomas McElhatton, with a 1:41.3. It's the luck of the Lord. He's put it on pole position, putting Mark SP down. And Mark SP nearly fell victim to Jay Frotcher with a fantastic lap of a 1:41.4. Only a 10th separating them, not a 10th, only a 100th separating them two. So fantastic qualifying from these guys, very, very close. The top 12 separated by 1 second. So not too shabby, especially in these wet weather conditions that people just haven't been practicing for.
Yeah, well, I'm going to make a bold prediction now. I think Wommer and Mark Espy are going to collide with each other, the two Northern Irishmen. It's inevitable when you're fighting for a championship. Emotions will come above driving standards, Lordy.
I don't know. Both drivers are normally out of the steward's office. They're not normally inside causing accidents. Wommer did have an incident with Alfie, I believe, in IRL last night. So I think that was due to the game more than his own personal driving. But he will be looking to prove Mark SP, to prove to Mark SP that he's got the credentials to win this F2 title and progress into the Formula 1 category. That's what these drivers want, Formula 1 status. This is what these drivers are fighting for. Titles, race wins and the Formula 1 status. These drivers, a lot of them have the potential, but a lot of them fall short when it comes to pure race pace because of silly incidents that they've had with other people or just pure stupidity, little blocks.
I have to agree profusely, Lordy. Oh, interestingly, we've got everyone on the mediums except for Lewis, CC Brain, LR Nick, Will Murdoch, and Norman's going for the hard tyres. But someone I want to say, Lordy, Maxi Luca, look at him. He was in 7th place at one stage of quality. He's down to 14th now due to that big accident. I was thinking where this man could have been.
Yeah, has to be said, Maxi Luca. He's bit the bullet here at France and he's tried his best, but claimed a victim, the barrier did, in the qualifying session, and unfortunately for Maxi Luca, he'll be starting P14. Not where you want to be, especially after the season start that he's had so far, looking to prove some of these haters wrong. He keeps saying, if I practice more, I'll be quicker. Well, it's all good saying things, but you need to prove it out on track. I do believe he has got the pace, especially around here at France, but he's got to prove and make a statement as Samster leaves the session for whatever reason. So whether that's a restart or not, I will have to check with CC Brain, but for the moment we'll carry on.
Got enough time to get into the lobby, I think, hasn't he? Surely he has enough time.
I'm not too sure. I struggled to join back in F4, I believe it was, at China, and I joined back and I couldn't take control of my car, and it was just after the lights. So very disappointing, and then we had to have a restart. So we'll obviously get clarity. I'll just check the chat as well to see if anybody else has an update for me. His car is on track, says Lewis, so he should be able to rejoin whether he does or not.
I don't think there'll be a restart. I think it's a bit too late. I don't think CC Brain's aware that that man's driving around. Let me see LR Parker. Oh, never mind.
Yep, the protocol is, if it's before lights out, a safety car must be initiated. And obviously CC Brain has been warned and let known by Samster that there is no chance in hell that he will be rejoining. So unfortunately for all the viewers, we will be having a short period of break just to get everybody back in the session, and obviously for a full restart. I think it will give drivers like CC Brain and Lewis a reality check, because why the hell are they starting on the hard tyres when it's fresh? I have no idea.
I have to agree profusely, Lloyd, but I'm not sure the rule. Is there a loophole around this rule that they're able to change the tyres if it was a wet quali? And I don't know. I think they could get away with starting on the mediums. There's no rule about if you qualify. I don't know.
Yeah, there's no rule, I don't think, officially, whether you have to start on the tyre that you've allocated in the race session. I know if it was obviously a dry qualifying session and then obviously it moved into the race, you would have to start on the compound that you have allocated yourself, if you're in the top 10, that is. Obviously the top 10 I think can chop and change now, because it was, like you say, it was a wet qualifying and maybe it was a misclick, or maybe, you know, they've just not picked the right tyres, but I think they can change it because they have not been allocated to start on the mediums.
Well, we've got CPI Lewis in the chat saying there was rain at the end, so it might have been tactical. But can mediums, I'm pretty sure mediums can go at least 21 laps, so if that's the case, will some drivers risk it? Yeah,
it may have been tactical, says Lewis, but I think the mediums can do the distance like you say, little blocks. It's not the best strategy call I would have made personally, but I'm not racing tonight and I'm in F4, so why am I talking?
You're talking as you have the experience already, that's why. The experience. It may not be there on track, but you have the knowledge after being disconnected from the session, so yeah. Just waiting for him right back to that lobby now.
Obviously not great for you, Lickle, because you will be starting F1 very, very soon. So I'll be on my own for the latter stages of the commentary today, because obviously Lickle Box has his own race to commentate. I'd commentate, obviously, your own race to race, sorry.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that decent pace. A bit of a dirty sweat last night at 1 o'clock in the morning, but we don't need to talk about that.
Yeah, we certainly don't. I'm in bed tucked up with the blanket over me at 1 AM in the morning. Not like some of these children that have all the time in the world to just practice and practice and practice.
Indeed. Well, I'm kind of hoping they hurry up and get us in the lobby and going. So I want to at least be here. I'll be here for the race start. I want to see the first few laps at least.
Yep, just to keep the 16 people still with us, 17 people still with us on the air. If I can actually talk. We're just currently having a restart here in Formula 2. We've had an incident with Samster currently disconnecting from the lobby, and unfortunately we've had to restart because he cannot rejoin his car before lights out. So CC Brain has done the right thing as the admin and has declared a restart. We have comments flying in left, right and centre. Takuma Sato, people saying, yeah, I do love a bit of Takuma Sato, and that's who my driver is based around. Obviously, it doesn't look like Takuma Sato, but, you know, good old Takuma Sato, one of F1's legendary drivers, with the likes of Yuji Ide in that gallery of legendary Asian drivers.
Yeah, I think the most iconic Asian driver has to be Kamui Kobayashi.
Yeah, Kamui Kobayashi, Herbert the pervert in the chat. Lickle.
Hello, Lickle.
You commenting silly messages.
Indeed. Well, is the lobby set up?
I don't know, mate. You tell me. CC Brain taking his time. Obviously, I will keep everybody updated in the chat if you do not know, just to make sure that everybody is aware of everything that's happening. Alfioli, who's commentating F1? Who do you think? Leon. Leon's commentating F1.
Bentley.
Leon is kindly commentating F1. Obviously, I would normally be with Leon, but today I've got to be on my own. Lickle's only filling in before his F1 race, just to give me a bit of a hand with everything. So that's who's commentating F1. Yeah,
well, bit of breaking news from F1. I don't think there's no Louis Welch. And you know what that means? That means it's a party, Lordy. No chance of me being taken out on the last lap again from that driver.
Yeah, mixed opinions about Louis Welch from recent events. Obviously, if you're watching ILR, which one are you in? You're in number 1 or 2?
1, yeah.
Yeah, IRL1, Louis and Lickle had an incident on the last lap, and it was for the race win. So Louis will not be attending tonight, which is unfortunate, but Louis Welch, definitely the man to beat, currently in F1.
Yeah, well, hopefully we get going. How many drivers was there? Was there 17, I think, racing?
I believe so, there was 17 racing. I'll let the admins worry about that though.
Samson's the one that's not in. I think his internet's just died completely, because if it was him by now, he'd be in the lobby. Yeah,
that's not for us to worry about, Lickle. I know for a fact that F4 can be a handful to manage, with the likes of Flying Foam at my side, trying to navigate some of these drivers, but that's not my problem. Let the F2 admins deal with it, and it makes it easier for everybody else if the F2 admins are left to do their job of sorting out the lobby and sorting out everybody in the lobbies.
Indeed. Well, hopefully you can get going quickly. Who's not in this lobby?
Yeah, hopefully 16. You can catch the first couple of laps of this race, because I know that you've got to go. But naivety at its finest, as people have been saying in the comments section. Alfioli is praying for whatever reason LR Nick says, hope my spin on the formation lap wasn't caught on stream. Well, because of the restart, Nick, I don't think it was caught on stream, so you have been saved the embarrassment. But obviously I wouldn't focus too much on your formation lap. I'd focus on the getting a good race start.
The 27 laps ahead of you, don't focus on a lap where really you're not racing anyone. Focus on the main French Grand Prix. Hold on, I'm being called.
Lickle does raise a good point. Don't race on the formation lap when you've got 27 laps ahead of you to battle everybody in the lobby. But some people definitely do like a good tussle on the formation lap, rubbing wheels before the lights have even gone out. Oh, I could list a few names right off the top of my head, battling under the formation lap rules. But you know, we'll save the embarrassment for another time. Skeven, if you're with us, I don't know if you're in the commentary box, but you're not in your car, mate. So obviously the racing point is what you're allocated. So I suggest that you go in the racing point before we have another Tomajar in FP for France. If anybody was there for the FP race, Tomajar, we had one restart and he wasn't there. He went for a dump. He said. Did you hear about that, Lickle? Tomajar didn't pick his car in the select screen and went for a dump. And made everybody in the lobby wait ages. Ages and ages and ages. And then got allocated the wrong car and then messed up the entire session for everybody.
Truly fantastic. There's got to be some sort of time limit for Samster now. It's died his internet. I'd say if I was the admin, I'd be saying go, go, and one more time, go.
Well, like you say, we'll leave it up to the admins. It's their league and they sort it all out. I think the drivers would be eager to start this Grand Prix. So far, one more puts in the chat. Did we not have 18 drivers?
17.
One more. I believe it was 17, but don't quote me on that because I'm not interested on who's racing. I just commentate on the racing.
Yeah, I want this to hurry up now. This is getting ever closer to the start of F1. I want to see the start of this race. I'm expecting a bit of an incident. I really am. It's very easy to get caught up with our cars through the tight turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, it is. I'm actually on the wrong account on my YouTube, so I will just transition over to my Lordy-MK account so people do know who's actually messaging in the chat.
Who will win F1 at commentators? ILRT Lickle F1 will win F1, Oogie has seen. It will happen. It's my night tonight. It's my night. It really isn't, but
Lickle Blocks is confident. So your vote is Odom's?
Yeah, Odom's well.
Well, even though Louis not racing, I still think Louis will win. Somehow, from the grave. I think his spirit will take the control of his Renault and he'll win. But I've not really seen anybody practice in the F1 tier. I've only seen the likes of Bugatti, Alfie Ole. So I think he'll have a good shot at taking maybe a podium, but he's not proved himself enough in F1 to get a race win, I don't think. But maybe you, Lickle. Shall I put my eggs in a basket and say you? No.
If you're feeling a little bit risky, I may be in a desk. I'm like 100 to 1 odds. If you want to put about £3 on me,
yeah,
and
about
I win,
£3.
you get a good thing. You get a good thing, good money back, shall I say?
Yeah.
Shouldn't there be a different commentator if you can't do the whole thing? BB plays. It was last minute notice, mate.
Yeah,
I
just
offered to help.
Yeah, just to explain the situation to BB Plays, as I think there's a Harley Davidson pull outside my house with the window open, so apologies for the noise. Just to explain the situation, obviously, who normally commentates? Is it Ollie Flavel normally commentates? Owen Wyatt, sorry, a bit disrespectful there, sorry Owen, I actually do appreciate your commentary, it is very good. Owen normally commentates on this league, as a few F2 fans will reassure you, but obviously I'm normally the F1 commentator, but I've stepped in for the likes of Owen to obviously accompany I needed some company, so Lickle obviously filled in as well, so it's just a bit last minute, but we've got it sorted and the commentary will ensue. I don't know about the race because the race is taking forever to start, so maybe the race is cancelled at this rate, but you know, just filling in for people, doing what I do best, filling in.
Max saying new admins are needed, in my opinion. That's what Max is saying. It's taken forever to start this lobby. Just get it going. We've been sitting here for ages now. Whoever's the host, Wommer, hurry up and get this grid sorted, mate.
Yeah, it's not Wommer's fault. Wommer has got orders from the league admins, so whatever's taking so long needs to go faster because I've not got all day.
Yeah, I don't think I've got about 15, 20 minutes. I've got about 15 minutes to be in the lobby.
Yeah, you've got about 10 minutes at max, Lickle, so.
Disappointing, very disappointing. Some people with their dodgy internet can't stay in the lobby.
Well, anyway, what I'm going to do is, I didn't think it'd take this long, but while whatever happens and gets all the drivers sorted and the admins get their act together, I'm going to quickly grab a drink, so entertain the audience the best way you can for a couple of minutes for me. Thank you.
Yeah, well, hello people. Make sure to tune into F1 at 8 PM for fantastic driving from the F1 drivers. We're finally underway. 16 seconds till the session starts for some F2 action. my race winner got to be Wommer. Wommer, I reckon he'll get over Mark Espy just due to penalty. I reckon Mark Espy will finish second. And I'm going for an LR Praga third. He's going to steal something, I think. As I do apologise, people. I really do apologise. I will be interested to see what drivers go. Will it be mediums? There'll be reports of rain at the end. Will it be mediums? Will it be hards? We just don't know. And our Nick just readies up. And we are loading into the lobby. If you have any questions for either commentators, either me and Lordy, that Ugizim asked, feel free. I'm sure me and Lordy will take our time of this stream to provide you with some answers, as Lordy is back. Heard his mic moving around. Drivers getting their setups on. And we need to leave in 3 minutes. My race is at 8 o'clock, Lewis, so I'll be able to watch the first couple laps, and then I'm off to F1. Lordy-MK, sorry, it'll be all his voice. You won't have to hear any of me anymore. Top 3 on the grid. I said Wommer, Mark Espy, and LR Praga. Is Lordy having a bit of mic issues I'm hearing? Or Lordy, you alright? Mike, it alright? What a disaster it be. What a disaster it could be if this man's mic dies. I've got to go off for F1 in a minute. That's one more interesting. He goes soft tyres.
Hello?
There we are. Your voice is back. You're alive.
Is it?
Few change strategies. Just about. Your mic's got a bit dodgy.
Yeah, something's happened with the mic.
Swap to softs. Wow, that's
really ripped out.
What have you done? What have you done? You've ruined your mic, and I've got to go in a minute. Oh, for God's sake, no, we can't be restarting now. We've had another restart. I don't think we'll be restarting again now. Once one restart happens, another one won't happen. Yeah, I hear you. Will Murdoch's lagged out.
Good,
and
good.
I'm sure there won't be another restart.
No,
There's been one restart.
yeah, is it sounding alright for you? Everything, yeah?
Yep, alright.
Alright, good. Good. Yeah, it pulled out
One was
a
left
bit manually, so...
done. Oh, we're having another restart. For 6 sake. Oh, I might as well say my adios, lads. I'll leave in a minute when I have my earbuds.
Yeah, I think the mic, yeah, the game sounds back and everything, so the mic should be fine. Yeah, I think the mic, yeah, the game sounds back and everything, so yeah, I can hear myself on the stream as well, so the stream definitely working. Sorry about the bit of a delay or a bit of the hassle there, but don't know what's happening now. People leaving the session, feel a bit sick.
Well, I'm pretty sure the admins haven't left either, so Tom pretty much just left the lobby when he weren't meant to. And he's done the same last week, so I don't think there'll be a restart from Whatnot. Or, well, surely not, it can't be.
In the rules, you're only allowed one restart, because obviously the time limits, you know, it's quarter to 8, and Prague has left this. It's a shambles, it's a shambles.
The admins need to read through these rules, because it's shocking.
Yep, Edward, you need to leave. People are saying in the chat, get ready for F1. Top 3 on the grid, question mark. Oh, dearie, mate. Will disconnected. Like, Will disconnect. Oh, it's all going wrong. It's an absolute shambles. Oh, dearie me.
It's a shambles, Lordy, mate.
I gave up.
Just killed
I gave up my time to sort out this league. Normally I have my rituals, but it's going to be starting at the same time as blooming F1.
There's meant to be one restart, and once you've had that restart, unless there's a problem with PSN, you can't restart again.
Yeah, it's not 3 restarts, it's 1 restart. For disconnections or for leaving the session. If it's a PSN issue, I think the rules may be a bit different because it will be multiple people. But obviously, you know, this is a bit of a pee take at the moment. Nothing really to say. I've ran out of stuff to say and the race hasn't even started yet. I'm sweating buckets. It's 34 degrees and I'm absolutely moist as a whale trying to spectate this race, and I'm sick of it.
Yeah, well, I'm waiting for my invite to F1 now. So I'm gonna wave bye bye, Lordy. I was looking to hopefully be here for the race, but due to shocking misjudgments, I can't be here. So good luck, and we'll probably see you about 10:30 when this race actually finishes.
Yeah, good luck to yourself in F1. And as Lickle departs, I say farewell to my second commentator. .65 comments in the chat. Jai Fletcher, what the actual F? Lamau. I agree. I couldn't agree anymore, Jai. It's a yoke. It's a yoke. Oh, dearie, mate. Obviously, the stream will carry on for however long, I do not know, but these admins really do need to put their foot down with this now. Obviously, we're on very strict time periods due to other leagues starting, and obviously other people's personal affairs. They sign up to a 7 PM league, they don't want to be starting at 8 o'clock. luckily I think a lot of these people in F2 are young drivers, so it's a bit easier for everybody to gather everyone and to keep everybody in the lobbies. I agree, Future. AMK. I don't know what to say. Until the race starts, until there's some action, all I'm doing is staring at a screen full of names that I despise at the moment. Ollie Flavel in the Red Bull Racing. I can't keep my eyes off him at the moment. I'll try and keep you up to date and informed and entertained as best I can at the moment, but to be honest, I think the most entertaining thing that's happening at the moment is me drinking Dr. Pepper, so nothing really to report. And my good old friend Leon Bentley. Hello, Leon. Hearing my voice from the other side of the commentary room. Obviously you're in the F1, I'm in the F2 one tonight, and we haven't even started yet. I might just hop in and join you for F1. Oh dearie, dearie me. Two restarts. We're finally green here in France to start the third lobby, the third attempt at the start of this race. If any other altercations happen, it has to be cancelled. Okay, it just has to be. It has to be postponed. It cannot continue. But anyway, a couple of seconds left. I'm going to take a massive gulp of my Dr. Pepper so I can get all the sugar I need for the next 45 minutes of action. Oh, Leon, I'm loving it. You know on Christmas where you buy them sausages, that what they call pigs in blankets, you know, it's got the sausage and then it's wrapped in bacon. I feel like that sausage wrapped in bacon shoved in the fryer. That's how I'm feeling right now. Sweaty off. Oh, claustrophobic. I've got all the windows open and everything, and I feel like a pig in blanket. Right. Hopefully, I think everybody in the chat will agree, hopefully for the final time we can get underway here at France. People not picking the strategy that they want. Make sure to load your setups. Make sure to pick the tyres you want. Make sure, for the love of God, do not disconnect or you will be left behind. It's like the Titanic. People got left behind. You will sink to the bottom of the ocean if you disconnect. Just don't do that. Please, for my sake. As here we are for the formation lap. A 2-minute lap to take it all in, to get my settings ready. Enable. Tyres to see what people are on. I see a soft runner. I feel sick. I feel ill. Nick, make it work. Prove me wrong, please. Make it work, because at least you've added some diversity in this race, so I do appreciate that. But make it work, Nick. Make it work. Right. It could be a masterstroke because he will have clear air if he's going for the mediums. Because obviously soft medium with fresh tyre has to be the optimal strategy. If you struggle with tyre wear, it is going to be difficult, but you have to take it. It can't be any other way. The hards are useless around here. They're like bin bags. They're like them, you know, when you get asked at the checkout and they're like, oh, do you want to pay an extra 5p for a bag? And you're just like, nah mate, I've got my own bags. It's like them, useless, just disgusting. Oh, them bags, rubbish. Or like you go to the corner shop and they give you like the blue bag and they have to give you 2 bags at once because the one is so thin it just doesn't hold anything and it just rips. Just rubbish. That's what the hards are like around here. Useless bin bags. Anyway, enough of my tangent about bin bags. As you can see on the left hand side, this is the order for the French Grand Prix that people will be starting. We've got Wommer on pole, Mark SP second, Jay Froscher third, Sams the fourth, fifth is Lewis, CC Brain in sixth position, Glock in seventh, eighth is Skeven, ninth is TTG Jack, Praga rounds off the top 10, then LR Nick in 11th, 12th is Foxy Dude, 13th is Will Murdoch, 14th is Maxi Luca GT5. Laggy Person is 15th in the Alfa Romeo. 16th is Lawmans. And 17th is Ollie Flavel. So, for the final time, here we are for the French Grand Prix round number 5. PSGL F2. We were meant to start at 7 PM, but somehow it's got to 7:55, so it's nearly an 8 PM start. But here we go for the final time. How many lights have we got? 0 at the moment. We're going to go on board with Tom to have a look. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights here at the French Grand Prix. Away we go. Wommer seems to get a decent start off the line with Mark SP following in closely. No position changes for the moment. Maybe a dive bomb down the inside. I think LR Nick is trying to make up positions on Praga as we see the likes of Mark SP making a move on on Wommer going into turn number 4. Wommer's going to hold it. We're going to get a brilliant view. And oh, Wommer, that's fantastic driving from these two up front. Jay Frotcher's got an absolute eyeful of this battle. Mark SP rams his ass up the inside and maintains the first position that he gained a few corners ago. But Wommer definitely going to be chasing him down as we got the likes of Lewis and CC Brain. CC Brain, Samster in P5 challenging for position. And obviously, oh, here we go in Alpha. Is it TTG Jack going to make a move? No, not so far. We're going to stay on board with these guys. Samster gets a fantastic exit. TTG Jack tries to make a move up the inside, but here we go. Samster round the outside as we also see Mark SP is going to get absolutely mugged. Or is he? Wommer's going to lose more positions. Lewis is up the inside of Wommer as well. Wommer's had to back out. Wommer dropping positions like fly on a windshield. Wommer dropping like a pebble in an ocean. It's going horribly wrong for the Mercedes driver. Wommer is all the way down in 5th from first position as Mark SP maintains first position. We're going to go on board with these guys. As Samster around the outside, cuts back on the inside. He's going to have the outside for the next turn. Has made a fantastic start up into P number 3 and he maintains the position and oh, bit of contact with Lewis. No way Lewis is going to get the traction out of there. No, but Wommer's going to get the traction. Here we go. He's in P number 5. Wommer, will he challenge for P number 4? And oh, Lewis is going to go for P number 3 on Samster as well. Here we go. Down into turn 1. The Renault is going to get it. Is Samster going to hold it up the inside? No, backs off. And he's going to have a horrendous exit down into turn number 4. I can't even catch my breath because Samster's going for another move. It's absolutely fantastic. And oh, there's contact, but they're still on the track. CC Brain's got a lovely view of this trio bumping wheels with one another as Jay Frotcher and Mark SP are escaping up the field. Just going down the field, seeing position changes. Maxi Luca has gained a few positions as Foxy Dude and Lawmans are fighting down there in P13 and P14. We've got some absolute crap camera angle, but the teammates are all over each other. It's like Romeo and Juliet. They're kissing, they're cuddling. And it's romance in the air. Love is in the air as Foxy Dude tries to go around the outside and Ollie Flavel with a bit of lag has gotten past all of them. But we're going to go on board with Maxi Luca now. That laggy person made a fantastic start. He's going to defend the inside from Maxi Luca in the racing point. And P number 12 is currently the position that Maxi Luca will hold as we see position changes as LR Nick on the soft tyres making them work so far as Will gets a position on Skeven who'll try and maintain as many. Oh, CC Brain's gone wide. Luckily nobody's challenging CC's in a bit of clean air. We're just going to check the front for potential position changes as Samster is losing time to the guys ahead. So Mark SP and Jay Frotcher are moving mad at the moment. Sorry, had a bit of a brain fart there. As we see the likes of Lawmans, I think he's made a mistake. He's dropping positions. He's nearly plumb last. with the likes of Glock down there, as well as we see CC Brain. Oh, he's sideways. CC Brain's off. CC Brain. Oh, the French Grand Prix right next to Germany, and he's destroyed the mediums going into turn number 1. Absolutely rubbish from CC Brain. Cornelius is down in P16, and he looks to be out of this French Grand Prix, as we see Lorman's pit for a set of hards, and he will be taking them to the end because I think he's picked up damage. We are going to continue. Foxy Dude's internet is absolutely horrendous today, and I think that's why he's struggling with positions, but he's definitely got a straight line speed, and that Honda engine's doing absolute miracles down the straight. Look, here he comes now. He's in 8th gear, shifts down all the way to 3rd. There's lag everywhere. He's gone through the Red Bull, and there's yellow flags in Sector 2. Will Murdoch's off. Oh, he's made contact with somebody, I'm not too sure. And Prague is all the way down in P13 as well, so these two have clearly come together at some point during this race. Oh my days. Foxy Dude, I'm not staying on board with him because his lag is absolutely horrendous. I'm going to stay on board with that laggy person who's up into the top 10 from a measly P13, I believe it was on the grid. I think it was even less than that. I think it was P15 on the grid. So that laggy person doing a fantastic job at the moment, but needs to pick up the pace. Staying on board with him for the moment is Skeven. Oh, has a bit of twitch of oversteer on them medium tyres, maybe overheating them a bit too early as he stays in 3rd gear a bit too long for my liking, going through the final corners. You see Lewis and Samster going neck and neck down the straight for P number 3. These two are battling hammer and tong for this podium position. They need to maintain, but look at the exit Lewis has got. That's fantastic through turn number 2, and he's going to maintain the slipstream through here as Wommer bides his time in P number 5 and watches the battle ensue, but they need to start catching the front runners. Mark SP looks like he's got a bit of pace on Jay Frotcher currently, but Jay Frotcher is pulling away from these guys in P4 and P3 respectively. Going down the field, we'll stay on board with Foxy Dude down the straight. Hopefully his lag doesn't get too bad. Just going to keep an eye on the gaps. Wommer's right in the back of this. I think Wommer might want to pounce now. And his teammate. Oh, accident for that laggy person. That laggy person's out. He's in P13. Oh, I don't know what's happened there. Oh, I don't know. He's ended it. He's binned it somewhere. That laggy person out of the race. He was in P9, so I don't have a clue what's happened there. Maxi Luca up into P9. Oh, poor Lewis Malam. He was struggling with the game. He didn't want to play it anymore, and his confidence has just hit rock bottom. That is awful, unfortunately. But Samster's definitely got the pace round here. We get the worst camera angle possible as I take a sip of my Dr. Pepper. Yum, 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 tasty. As we watch Samster biding his time, actually. I think he's used a lot of ERS and he wants to save it in the slipstream and DRS of Lewis. Obviously Lewis will not have DRS because he's not close enough to Jay Frotcher, but they are closing the gap. So maybe it's a tactical decision from Samster to allow Lewis to gain and close as Will Murdoch picks up a 3-second time penalty. But just going back to what I was saying, maybe it's tactical from Samster to allow Lewis to gain on the front runners, catch them, because these guys do look quicker. Samster and Lewis and Wommer, I think, are the people to beat. Mark SP definitely in that battle. I think Jay Frotcher's just holding them up a bit, but Jay Frotcher's had an absolute blistering exit. Look at him. He's like a salmon. Oh, he's flopping his fins all over the place. Jay Frotcher, he's going to have a fantastic exit out of there as well. He's all over Mark SP. Mark SP's got nothing to answer for. Here he comes. Jay Frotcher, is he going to hold it around the outside? No, he's not. Mark SP is going to allow Jay Frotcher to regain the lead of the Grand Prix. I think he had it briefly for the start of the race. Jay Frotcher leads us around France on lap number 5. These mediums go a fair distance, so there is a long way to go, and the key is keep it on the track and keep it off the curbs, because obviously in some aspects of this track, curbs are deadly. Just running down the field, you can see the likes of, well, we'll go for a bit of a position change just to see who's the losers and the gainers. Obviously the 3 losers right at the bottom. Glock, CC Brain on a massive spin. Praga is pitted, and Lawmans, as we see Maxi Luca maintain positions. And oh, Will Murdoch's gone. Will Murdoch's tried to pit, and he's got, oh no, retirement, rubbish, get out of my league, rubbish. I did see Samster make a move. Sorry, I was too busy looking at position changes to actually notice that. I'll go back into the tyres and ignore that now. Samster, it was tactical because they have closed rapidly on the guys in front, and Samster looks to have the pace. I want to keep on board with Samster and Lewis for as much as possible, as Lewis struggles with the rear end coming out of turn number 5, I believe. Turn number 6, I believe. As we go down this long straight, we'll see if Lewis can challenge, but I think Samster's got DRS. He has. Samster has got DRS, so he's timed it to perfection. As Will Murdoch bows out of this Grand Prix. And there's yellow flags in sector 2. What's happened there? Anybody? Sector 1, sorry. What's happened there? Not too sure. Sector 1 and 2, there's incidents. I think it's one of these. Sector 2 and 3. What's going on? It's Samster. What's happened to Samster? I was just on board with Samster and there's been an incident. Samster, 10-second time penalty, exceeding track limits. He's got no front wing. Oh dearie, oh my god, it's all kicking off here. Samster looking to win the race, played it perfectly. He's got no front wing. So trying to check late yellow flags in sector 1, nothing happened, and then Samster comes out of nowhere and he's got no front wing. And he's plummeting down. He's in P11. There's yellow flags in sector 3. I think it still is Samster, so I won't go on board with it. As DC Brain claws his way back to P number 12. Just as I switched off him. I'm very unlucky in that regard. Yep, Samster will be coming in the pits, and I think a set of hards to the end of the race is what he will be running. Nothing to report on that front. We're just going to go back to Nick, because I think Nick is struggling on these softs now. He's not too far off these guys, but yeah, Nick clearly struggling with these tyres. He was on the back of Wommer, and yeah, he's all over the place. Maxi Luca looking to get past, and I think he will do down this straight. He's going to have DRS, and he's just got no grip. LR Nick really struggling. We've got the worst camera angle imaginable going down some of these straights and corners. But here he comes, Maxi Luca. He's going to get it done comfortably. Yep, brilliant move from Maxi Luca up into P7. Redemption day for this man. He said he had the pace, and he's currently in P7 at the moment. Can he keep with the front runners? I'm not too sure at the moment, but he needs to dispatch the likes of Skeven and TCG Jack, who are looking a bit slower and off the pace compared to the front runners. Just going back to the top, Mark SP all over the back of Jay Frotcher, as Mark SP actually makes a mistake in the middle sector. Obviously these guys all single file for the moment, as Wommer sits the fastest up of the race. So Wommer's picked up the pace, and he's probably turned up the wick on the ERS because he wants to get moving now. He has fallen off the back of the front runners a bit, and he maybe is a bit annoyed with himself as we watch Skeven follow TTG Jack all the way through. But here comes Maxi Luca. Maxi Luca will be catching, and Ollie Flavel still has not passed LR Nick. LR Nick really struggling now on these soft compound tyres. He wants to take the mediums to the end, but he needs to do a few more laps, I think. Well, in his mind he needs to do a few more laps, but the mediums are all over him now. He wanted to get the softs out the way maybe and maintain the speed with these medium runners, but Ollie Flavel's going to absolutely roast him down the straight. And here comes Foxy Dude as well. Foxy Dude gets the job done, and poor old Nick, luckily he's got a fair few seconds back to CC Brain, but Nick is really struggling now and needs to think about pitting. I think the mediums can do the distance, and he's losing buckets and buckets of time. We're just going to go back onto the front runners, because Mark SP, he is all over Jay Frotcher for the lead of this race. And also Skeven and Maxi Luca getting ever closer to the likes of his teammate. Whether those two will be having team orders, because Maxi definitely looks the faster of the racing points so far. As Mark SP does not look close enough so far. And Maxi Luca's made... Oh, contact! Oh, I said there was going to be team orders. I said there was going to be team orders. And Maxi Luca is out the race. Deliberate in the wall. Maxi Luca has had enough. That man is finished. Oh, horrendous from the racing point. Absolutely horrendous from the racing point. The team, oh no, it's an absolute, oh, it's all gone wrong. Both racing points as Nick picks up a 3-second time penalty for obvious corner cutting. But yeah, the racing point, it's all over. It's all over for Maxi Luca. He's had enough. I don't know what happened there. I said there was going to needed to be team orders, or there might have been team orders, and look what's happened. Well, we're on board with Foxy Dude now. He actually gets out of the throttle there, going down the straight, trying to catch the back of Ollie Flavel. Definitely got the pace, but I think there's a few connection issues, so he's trying to steer clear of a few of these drivers if possible, which is the smart idea in my mind for Foxy Dude. I'm just keeping an eye on the gaps as well, because Mark is obviously on the back of Jay Frotcher, but Jay Frotcher in control of this race. He has not put a foot wrong so far, Jay Frotcher, and he is doing a fantastic job up there in P number 1. Foxy Dude all over the back of Ollie Flavel. Foxy Dude definitely having the pace. Unfortunate his connection's letting him down a bit, but he needs to dispatch this Red Bull if he has any hope of catching TCG Jack. I feel so bad for some of these, for some of you viewers out there, obviously trying to have a look at some of the action, and I've just missed it by a millisecond. I've even commentated on half of it, but just haven't been able to catch it. So obviously Maxi Luke having a collision with Skeven. Samster completely losing his front wings. We see CC Brain get past Elon Nick, because Elon Nick is pitting for a set of mediums, I do believe. We're going to go on board with the front runners though, just to see if Mark SP can challenge Jay Frotcher. We are seeing obviously Mark close on the straight because of DRS, but he just doesn't seem to be gaining through the corners. Jay Frotcher clearly having the superior grip, and look how much he pulls just in the traction zone on Mark SP. So Mark SP may be a bit infuriated in that helmet that he can't push to the maximum limit because of the tyre grip at the moment. As we oh, I can pick the phone up. Just gonna have a look at a few of these comments. If there isn't a massive pile up, then I'm disappointed. Glocker, Martin Kingdom, Mark and Joel aren't fighting. They're in the same party. Mark, let him go. Well, if they're in the same party, then that's to see Foxy Dude finally get past Ollie Flavel. I think it was a long time coming, but is Ollie going to give it up? Oh, he's got brilliant traction out of there, but he just had to back out of the throttle because he nearly hit the back of the Toro Rosso. And obvious corner cut there from the Red Bull. I hope he's been pulled up for a warning on that. But I think Ollie Flavel is not going to see Foxy Dude for the rest of this race, because Foxy Dude definitely has the pace in some of these corners that he just isn't showing. We'll just check the DRS straight, see if he gains, but I think Foxy Dude is obviously running more straight line speed as well. Obviously it's a long straight, so he will indefinitely gain as Skeven and Sams to pick up penalties respectively for corner cutting. I always have a bit more to drink because I'm really going to pass out in this heat. It's actually absolutely crazy. I've been told Mark and Jay Frotcher aren't battling because they're in the same party, but you need to put on some entertainment for us fans. I know Mark probably is playing it a bit safer because he is in the lead of the championship and has his championship rival Wommer in P4 behind him currently, a fair few seconds behind as well. I think the maximum of 4.5, 5 seconds at the moment. So has got a fair gap, but Glock picks up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane also. But yeah, Mark SP, I think he needs to get the move done on Jay Frotcher. I know they're probably friends and I know they probably are playing it tactically, but you know, if they weren't playing this tactic, Lewis would be on the back of them, because Lewis is looking the quickest guy out there at the moment. I feel a bit sorry for Lewis because he hasn't got a buddy that he can just slipstream train off for the rest of this Grand Prix, and he is pushing the absolute hell out of this runner. Jeez, you see how he took that chicane? It's like he straight lined it. This man giving everything he can to try and catch these guys, but obviously down the straight he's just not going to have the same straight line speed because of slipstream and DRS. So it's a smart game these two are playing. They're not teammates though, so whether they should be teammates is another story, but not teammates at the moment. And Lewis definitely the quickest man out there in terms of raw race pace. Whether he does the undercut to try and catch back up to these guys, that definitely will make it interesting. I think something along them lines has to be done if Lewis wants to stand a chance if they're playing tactics like that. He does run wide at the last corner though, really pushing the Renault to its limits. He's got to be careful though, because he might, you know, lose some of the grip in the tyres as Jay Frotcher pits. And Foxy Dude pits as well, so alright. Very, very interesting from these guys. We're going to see, actually, we're going to see where these guys filter out. I do believe it will be near the likes of Ollie Flavel. Foxy Dude, there's Ollie. Foxy Dude maintains the position on Ollie. So yeah, them two pitted at the same time. Jay Frotcher out in P5. And look at the distance. Because he hasn't had an incident. CC Brains in the pit lane again for a set of medium tyres. I'm not too sure why. Just going through the field now, just checking where everybody is. Ollie Flavel. Nick is on a set of mediums. It says he's on a set of softs, but no, he is on a set of mediums. And he has been on them for the last 3 laps. Hasn't managed to catch or pass Ollie, but is definitely going to keep the likes of Praga behind if he maintains the current pace. Just having a look through the field, Samster making a mighty recovery and is going to try and pass his teammate. Skeven also trying to make a recovery after a crash with his teammate. It'll be interesting to see that in the stewards. I imagine it'll be in the stewards. As Praga actually lets Samster go. Just seeing that on the indicator there, which is very, very sportsmanlike from Praga. Clearly not having the pace around here or not finding his feet, and wants his teammate to go for it. Marcus P setting fastest laps of the race, which is what you want to see, especially when he's in the battle for the lead of the race. So he's been unleashed and he is absolutely flying. Whew. Well, big bold strategy calls from the guys at Williams and from the guys at Toro Rosso and Red Bull. I think it's a fail-safe strategy. They don't want to do the aggressive strategy. They feel like they can take the car to the end on these set of tyres. They feel like the hards are the tyres that they need to go on, and they feel like they don't want to risk their mediums to a certain lap and end up exploding. It's very good points for these guys, because obviously the incidents, obviously the incidents that have ensued during this Grand Prix has cost a lot of people a lot of points, and the top 7 is pretty much nailed on, I think, only unless LR Nick can disrupt that on the mediums, but his mediums will die compared to these hard tyres at the latter stages of this race. And obviously Praga pitted very early and will probably, maybe not, but probably have to pit again, maybe for a set of softs. But it'll be good if he can take them to the end, but he is definitely going to struggle with the likes of Skeven and CC Brain, who have pitted a lot later than him. Interesting to see as Mark SP comes to the pit lane and Lawmans gets a penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and Mark SP, the pit crew didn't seem ready at all, but Mark SP is out on a set of hard tyres. Where is he going to filter? Here comes Jay Frotcher, and here comes Mark SP. Where is he going to filter out? Is it going to be ahead of the Williams? No, it's going to be behind the Williams. Jay Frotcher sets the fastest lap of the race and shuts down the plan. Mark SP set a brilliant lap on the mediums when he was released, and obviously he does have fresher tyres and will be on the back of Jay Frotcher, but it's a very, very pit call. Obviously these hard tyres, you can put them on at the start of the race and they will go to the end. So whether it's too late to set these hard tyres is my guess anyway. I think it's very, very late for these guys to start setting the hard tyres. But as you say, it's their strategy calls and it's what they want. I think Mark SP will be on the hunt for Jay Frotcher now. I think he's given him enough time to try and pull away and been very, very lenient with it. I think he will try and dispatch him now. I think all these tactics, these mind games, these I'll sit in your slipstream and keep all the time in the world is a bit scummy. Very tactical and very intelligent, but a bit scummy, especially when you're not teammates. Obviously, if it's teammates, it'd be a bit more understandable. But he is your rival. He is your championship contender, and you want to beat him on track. So, you know, if they're just going to keep doing this every race, then it'd be very interesting. Not against the rules, of course, but just personally, I'm not a racer who does stuff like that. I'm just going to check the gap. Actually, I think it was 3 seconds between Lewis and Mark SP. We're just going to have a look at the gap to the leader. So, so it's about 17 seconds at the moment. We'll keep it on the leader just to see if there's any movement when it comes to that. I think Wommer and Lewis should be going quicker than these guys, actually, so the gap should extend or stay the same, because obviously a fresh set of hards do about the same lap times as a worn set of mediums, and when these guys pit, they're definitely going for the soft tyres now. You know, they've got 4 more laps to maintain a 17-second gap, and it's very, very possible. It's very, very doable. You've got the likes of Wommer as well, catching up on the back of Lewis in P number 2. 9/10 of a second is the gap, so he is in DRS range if he can make a move, as Mark SP and Jay Frotcher have swapped around as Skeven retires. Whether that's a tactical change or if that's actually fighting for position, I do not know. They are friends and they are in the same league. Skeven does retire, which is very unfortunate, because I think he was on for a few points as I dropped my Dr. Pepper on the floor. Oh yay. CC Brain picking up a 3-second time on a V. Oh yeah, for whoever asks, I will monitor the penalties on the bottom of the screen, but I will not show the viewers the penalties. So I think it's a bit, you know, the anticipation. Who's got what penalty? How many penalties do people? If you want to keep track of penalties, that's up to you. But for me personally, I like that surprise that, oh, you know, as TTG Jack actually pits for a set of softs. That's very early. That is very, very early for TTG Jack. He really thinks he can take these 10 laps, which is brave of him, but it may work out. Let's just see where he filters out. It will be on the back of these guys. I'll just check the interval again. It's 15 seconds. It's not coming down, as Wommer is actually going to challenge for the lead of the race. We're going to go on board with Wommer actually, just to see what he can do, just see if he can get past Lewis. Oh, bogged down coming out of the chicane. Oh, just keep an eye as CC Brain and Praga are battling. Yeah, Praga's just going to let him go. Not too fussed about them guys, to be honest. Nick, he's on a set of mediums, as the indicator does say. He has been on the back of Ollie for a while, and I don't think Ollie is close enough to Jack, and Jack's going to bolt now because he's on a set of them softs. But Foxy Dude is in the way, so people have to bear in mind that there is going to be some traffic when they start coming into the pit lane. Praga and CC Brain battling it out for P number 10. P number 10 final point. We'll see what these guys are up to actually. Just because nothing's close in. Oh, Praga having none of it. Praga really defending this position, really wants the final point. CC Brain pitted twice, I believe, in this race. Because no, he didn't. He pitted once, but he has spun, I do believe. As he's done a fantastic move going on Praga around the inside as Jay Frotcher sets the fastest lap of the race. Wommer just having a look there in P number 2, 2 tenths, now 3 tenths behind. That gap's coming down though. Mark SP and Jay Frotcher really setting the pace. So these guys really need to get a move on. We're going to stay on board with TTG Jack as he rags the Alfa Romeo through these corners. He picks up a penalty for running wide. Oh, while doing so as Lewis and Wommer are battling. He's down the straight. Wommer's got him a natural DRS move, so nothing to report really. Nothing fancy from Wommer, just down the inside, gets the job done before the end of the straight. So Wommer clearly finding his feet and finding the pace later on in these races. Can they maintain this gap to these guys? Because Mark SP is coming on these hards, but they are 2 compounds different. You have to bear in mind you need at least one more lap. These guys, I think you can't leave it any longer as TTG Jack is going to get past Foxy Dude. But Foxy Dude's going to give him some back. He's got no ERS, but here we go. We're going to go in the broadcast camera. Foxy Dude on the inside. Is he going to maintain the position? He's going to keep it in there. TTG Jack is going to hang it around the outside. Massive amounts of grip that Alpha's got. Oh, Foxy Dude, don't put it there, mate. Ooh. Very, very close driving from these two. As we see, Lewis has come into the pit lane on this lap and has set the soft tyre. So we will say a chop and change for position as Wommer has stayed out the extra lap. And Foxy Dude, I don't think is going to see any more of TTG Jack for the rest of this race. And TTG Jack is going to come out. Is he going to come out ahead of Lewis? No, he is not. So Foxy Dude doing Lewis a favour there. So Lewis is now on a fresh set of softs and is on his way. Right. I'm seeing Glock and Prague are having a bit of a battle at the back as well. Just going to keep him board TTG Jack. Obviously he's got heated up soft tyres. They do heat up quite quickly, I do know that from personal experiences, but can he challenge Lewis? He does look very far away at the moment, but we're just going to keep an eye on that gap, see if he can challenge, as Jay Frotcher and Mark SP still do the train of DRS slipstream down every straight to kind of boost each other's morale. Here we go though. I'm going to see LR Nick on the back of Ollie Flavel for the 18th time this race. Obviously the gap now 12 seconds as Wommer left it too late. Has Wommer left it too late to pit for these softs? Is he going to get this time back? He is very quick, Wommer and Lewis. If anybody can do it, it is Wommer and Lewis to challenge these guys for the race win. But that gap is coming down immensely now. Wommer has to pit this lap. He has to. He cannot stay out another lap. We'll just check if Wommer has pitted. And Wommer stayed out another lap. So Wommer, I think, has put a nail in his own coffin at this rate. Just going to watch TTG Jack with open space. Hasn't set the fastest lap of the race, so maybe he's burnt out his softs already. Lewis is looking very quick on these soft tyres at the moment. He's just going to go back to LR Nick, see if he can make an impression on these guys. As Foxy Dude looks like he's made a mistake actually, and he's fallen into the clutches of Ollie Flavel in P number 7. As Will Murdoch leaves the session, obviously already out of this race. Got a speeding penalty early on in this race, and from there just, you know, put a nail in his own coffin really. But just staying on board with these guys, LR Nick is on the mediums, not on the softs. I know it says softs on the screen, but on the indicator it is mediums. He is doing a pretty decent job actually on his debut. First race in F2, PA, nothing to snuff at, and he looks to be getting quicker as well as the hard tyres wear. The mediums start coming into play, especially in the middle part of the stint on these tyres as he runs all over that curb. You don't want to be out there as I think it's rain, the rain's coming. As Lewis sets the fastest lap of the race, a 1:32.7, so he will get the extra point as well, as that time to the guys in front is plummeting. He took 2 seconds out of Jay Frotcher that lap. Jay Frotcher is now off the back of Mark SP as well, so Jay Frotcher not being able to keep with Mark, or right on the back of Mark. Going to keep on board with this, guys. It is raining. I've just seen Wommer's strategy. Wommer may have pulled a master stroke if the rain comes down hard enough. Wommer is taking these tyres to the absolute limit, and here comes Nick getting past Ollie Flavel. Ollie Flavel couldn't get past Foxy Dude, and Nick says, you know what, if you're going to take too much time, then I'm going to absolutely mug you. And that's what he's done on a set of mediums. He's absolutely mugged him. these guys obviously coming into play now. A lot of these guys putting on the hard compound tyres. Obviously a bit of a fail-safe for the rain at the end of the race. But Lewis is coming on them softs. If it doesn't get any wetter and it stays dry, you know, Lewis is coming. He's taking out another 1.5 seconds out of the front runners this lap as well on them sets of softs. As Samster picks up a 3-second penalty, I don't think it will mean anything currently because he's got a 5.2 second gap back to CC Brain. I think CC Brain does have penalties of his own. I'm running out of breath. The heat's definitely taking its toll on me. Depending on who is in the commentary box, on the podium, I should say. I don't know whether I can actually cope doing the podium interviews. Like I am moist. Jesus, I ain't got no fan or nothing to keep me cool as well, so I'm sweating buckets. Obviously checking the chat. We've got a lot of messages from Martin Kingdom, obviously banned, blacklisted from PSGL for various reasons. But used to be an F4 driver. I had the pleasure of racing with him myself. But he still is here, thereabouts, still making his presence known in the F1 chats. As some people are starting to pit for the intermediate tyres. So is the weather getting wet enough? Is it? I don't think DRS has been disabled, so I don't think it's wet enough at the moment. But has Wommer pulled off a masterclass? Something to shout about. This man, I thought he'd blown his chance completely. Obviously I didn't know the weather report, I wasn't too sure, and DRS has been disabled. Wommer has pulled an absolute masterclass here in the F2 league. Wommer from P5 on the grid after a horrendous start drops 4 positions off the line, has mugged every single person off in this league, and is now on a set of intermediate tyres with a 5-second gap with 5 laps remaining. This man has absolutely destroyed the division. Tom McElhatton from Northern Ireland has given the middle finger to the grid and says, you know what, fuck you. What a master stroke from this man. That is brilliant. I can't believe I've just seen that. We're just going to go off him for the moment because everybody's obviously pitting for intermediate tyres. Nick does stay ahead of Ollie Flavelle for the time being, and Foxy Dude looks to be bridging that gap as well. But OMG, Tom McElhatton has mugged off the entire division on a set of medium tyres. He took 22 laps and he timed it to perfection. If he maintains the win of this race, I'll be doing a podium interview just for that. That is fantastic. Obviously it's a different ball game in the wet, so we do see drivers coming out to play. As Lawmans picks up another penalty. That man, I'm not surprised if he gets DSQ'd. He's not actually, oh well, he's 14 seconds off the points, is he? Is it 14? Yeah, he's 14 seconds off the points, so won't be scoring any points tonight unless anybody crashes. But yeah, that man on the verge of disqualification. Just going to check the chat. Mark attempted to take tyres to the rain at the end of the rain. Balance at start, don't worry. That was genuine move, he doesn't need to rain at the end. Come on, Wommer. Lickle blocks, come on, Wommer. Wommer might be having for rain comes. Wommer's strategy could be brilliant. Great commentary, Lordy. See ya. Thank you very much, Wommer. Appreciated. The race has petered out in the latter stages, which is unfortunate because we do like to see a battle royale, especially when it comes to the end of the race. But Tom Wommer, this man has absolutely, I can't believe it, he's absolutely pulled a master stroke. Even in the wet as well, he's got the pace. So this man, he did some wet practice earlier, I do believe, to compensate just in case the rain came, and lo and behold, the heavens open. Not just for the weather, not just for the rain to come down, but the heavens open for that man. because that man has done an absolutely brilliant strategy. And Nick and the other Mercedes driver doing a brilliant job of holding off Ollie on his debut here in PSGL F2, and catching Foxy Dude, I do believe, as well. So he's not too far off the back of Foxy Dude. I don't think he'll be able to pull the gap now, but we'll see penalties at the end. I do believe Nick and Foxy Dude have a couple apiece, but we will see penalties at the end just to determine the places. But wow, crazy scenes, absolutely crazy scenes. We're just gonna, while no battles are obviously ensuing at the moment. Oh, yellow flag says 3. Who's off? Oh, CC Brain. No, it's Samster. Samster's off. I don't know if he's lost any wing. Yes, he has. He has no front wing. Samster in the Ferrari has retired from the race, and Lormans, I don't know about penalties, but Glock or Lormans is going to pick up the final point in this race. I did say if anybody bottled it, and Samster has had an absolutely miserable afternoon from battling for the podium earlier in this race. That man is dwindled to the back of the grid, made a decent enough comeback and bottled it again in the same race. Poor old Samster. He had a few laps to go. He should have carried on. He probably would have still got a point. But Samster bites the dust. And I do believe Lewis, currently in P4 in the Renault, will be picking up fastest lap, as Foxy Dude does pick up another penalty. So this could be playing into Nick's hands. A P7 is nothing to snuff at, especially for your debut race, but a P6 would definitely put a better taste in that man's mouth if Foxy Dude somehow picks up more penalties. Just while there's no battles going on, I will keep my eye on Ollie Favell and Nick, just in case that ensues. But let's just take a moment, maybe a lap or two, just to appreciate Wommer for a second. It's not often I say this to any driver, but wow, like, that is crazy what he's pulled out of the bag. It says he's on mediums at the moment. Don't believe it. The indicator says he's on intermediates. He did pit on lap, I believe it was 22, because he did take the mediums 22 laps. He pitted at the end of it, and he had the pace at the start. He did dwindle down a few positions into P number 5. Obviously dwindling back behind the likes of Lewis, Samster, Mark and Jay Frotcher. Obviously struggled with the pace at the start. Didn't feel like he was good enough to challenge the guys at the front. But perseverance is key when it comes to F1. And when you, like I said, this is what separates the drivers from the F2 to the F3 to F1. This is what separates them. When you've got an opportunity, whether it's the right call or not, you take your opportunity, and that's what this man's done here. He's leading the championship. He has it all to lose. He has everything to lose. He could have bottled this completely, but he saw the opportunity and he grasped it with both hands. And look at where he is now. He's not just leading the race, he's leading the race comfortably with a 7.5 second gap, because this man has persevered, kept his nail and kept his teeth in, and bitten into that cherry so goddamn hard that that cherry is no more. Like, it doesn't exist. He's bitten that hard into that cherry. You know what I mean? As Lewis picks up a penalty which could affect the results at the end, as I said before. But just going back to what was I saying, wow, it's a make of a champion. I know it's only round 5 and we've got a long way to go, 9 more races after this, but he's currently leading the championship, and if he doesn't bottle it now, he will be leading the championship after this race. It's the mark of a true champion. This is from Wommer, a champion's drive round France. He may have not been the quickest on the grid, he may not have had the opportunities at the start of the race, but he was given a glimmer of hope. He knew what the weather would bring and nobody else saw it, but that man did. And here he is now, 7.5 seconds ahead of anybody else, doing a tremendous job, and let's hope he can maintain it for the final lap of the race. We will stay on board with this man. Actually, no, we won't. We'll just go on board with Ollie Favell for 1 second, because he is all over the back of Nick. I think I will As we see yellow flags in sector 3, I'm not too sure Samster has left the session. We'll just see if there's any position changes. Obviously no fuel, yeah, very low fuel for Ollie Flavel. He will try and take it down the straight. We're just going to go on board with Wommer. No, he's not close enough yet. Back on board with these guys. Oh, he's not had a very good exit, Ollie Flavel. We will go to the next straight and then that's it. Yellow flags in sector 3. I don't know who's come off. I think it's TTG Jack. Yep, he's lost a few positions. He's lost a few positions, but this man, a mark of appreciation, I think, stands as you see yellow flags in sector 3 again. I don't know why it keeps cropping up, whether it's back markers or what. We'll just check TTG Jack because Foxy Dude is actually coming on the back of him. But anyway, a round of applause and appreciation for the F2 race winner around France. It's Tom Wommer takes victory here in France. Mark SP comes across the line currently in P2 but drops to P3 because of penalties. Here comes Lewis. Will the penalty situation affect Mark SP? No, he maintains third position. So there you have the podium, guys. In P number 5 we have TTT Jack, a fantastic performance in the Alfa Romeo. Foxy Dude comes across the line and snatches away that 5th. And the man on his debut in the Mercedes does a tremendous job, comes home in P number 7. No penalties affecting the result. CC Brain, mid-pack at the start of the race, spun on his own, had a torrential afternoon, but comes home in a P number 9 in the McLaren. And Lormans, this is the last battle. He's struggled out there today. He's really found it hard. Will this man maintain the last point? I'm not too sure. He comes across the line in P10. Here comes Glock, P number 11. Glock, he's got penalties. You need to cross the line. I don't know why he slowed down. He probably could have got the final point, but Glock slowed down. So Lormans takes the final point here in France, with Praga leaving the session because he's already finished his race. But congratulations to this man, Thomas McElhatton. 2 people from Northern Ireland on the podium here today, and it's dominant performance due to the strategy. He wasn't the quickest out there, especially in the earlier stages of the race, but when you've got an opportunity, it's a mark of a champion, and that man is on his way to becoming the F2 PSGL champion. We've seen enough champagne. We want to see the results and just see the penalty situation from everybody. One did pick up 1 penalty. Jay Frotcher, no penalties. So congratulations to him. That deserves a podium place and no penalties. That deserves a fair good amount of praise. Checking everybody else, Maxi Luca also had no penalties, but ran into his teammate during the race. Obviously these are your DNF runners. We've got Laggy Person, Will Murdoch, Maxi Luca, Skeven and Samster all biting the dust here in France. But your top 3 are Wommer, Jay Frotcher and Mark SP, which I will be inviting to do podium interviews. Obviously just give them a moment obviously to probably get a few of their emotions out, and maybe just recuperate from a fantastic performance from a few of these guys. I'm not too sure if there's any external penalties that need to come into account, but obviously these are your top 3 currently on the podium. I have invited all of them just to see if they will join. We may as well get it underway. Actually, we have our first joinee of the podium runners. It's Mr. Frotcher, Jay Frotcher himself. So welcome, my friend. Congratulations on P2.
Yeah, it's a bit sour, I guess, isn't it? Video. Gotta be happy with P2 at the end, though, ain't you?
Yeah, I do agree. If you want to just express with everybody here, with all the viewers, how you're feeling currently, and no penalties as well, which is also something to applaud. You were the only person in the top 10 to get no penalty, so that does deserve some recognition. But just tell everybody how you're feeling, and if you've got Mark SP and one more on your friends list, give them an invite for me as well.
Wommer. Before it even started, it said it was only one block, which was at the very end, so we was expecting it to come literally and not even affect us. So that's the reason why I pit anyway. Obviously, me and Mark used each other to save and pull away from Lewis behind. So that helped at the start, but of course when you pit and you gamble, of course one was gamble, paid off more, but we thought we'd pit, or we thought we had it covered. But yeah, it's just frustration. Of course, no penalties. I had 2 warnings from the start, so the fact I didn't get another warning for the rest of the race, I'll take it. But yeah, I guess P2, it puts me second in the championship now, I believe. So it's not bad, but I guess it could have been better.
Yeah, you summed it up pretty well. Obviously a bit of sour taste in your mouth, because obviously Tom pulled off an absolute masterstroke, has to be said. Predicting the rain to perfection and taking them medium tyres 22 laps is something not to be snuffed at. But no, I don't think you should be too hard on yourself. I think you were the quickest man out there on pure pace, and bearing in mind you got no penalties as well, really to sum up the quality that you actually offer to this league. And congratulations on second. It's been it was really nice to watch. Have we got any of the 2 here at the moment, or?
No, I have invited them, but they don't seem to be joining. But yeah, I mean, that race was sad because actually when Mark got past me, my DRS failed, and I was like, oh my god. So yeah, that's why I actually couldn't back this. Obviously it looked like I wasn't trying to catch him, but I was on like 8% DRS the whole time, so I had to push twice as hard to stick with him because I didn't have DRS. But it is what it is, so we'll just move on to next week.
Yeah, exactly. We'll go through a few questions with yourself just to give them a bit more time to join if they do obviously feel like it. Cool. But just obviously your overview on France. Were you confident coming into France that you had the pace, or were you feeling a bit wary about some of the guys around you maybe not feeling yourself during the race, or did you know from the get-go that you were going to be on it and going to be on the pace?
Let's just say I have been working quite a lot lately, so practice wasn't there. So I did about 3 laps before the lobby opened. So yeah, I looked at time trials, see who had what pace, and I didn't know who had race pace, but just from 1 lap pace, I knew Mark was quick. Obviously, the rain changed everything. But yeah, I knew Tom would be very quick. He always is, and I was expecting Lewis and Santos to be up there. So yeah, the fact that I only did about 3 laps practice and I was as high as I was, you know, you can't really complain with it, can you?
Yeah, like you say, you've obviously, everybody's got work. Some of these kids, as I like to call them, have all the time in the world to practice. Obviously, you yourself, Wommer, and I believe Mark as well. You know, same with me. We all have jobs, and we all have to kind of work F1 round that, which obviously hinders probably the amount of practice we can do, and obviously the amount of effort we can put into the races. But fantastic job, Jay. I will just move on to Wommer for a second just to get his thoughts. But yeah, I'll come back to you at the end. Here we have it. The man that probably wasn't the fastest out there, has to be said, Tom, but what a masterstroke from you. That was amazing. Tell everybody your thoughts. That was brilliant.
Tires were gone, so I was lucky. Halfway through the lap I thought I was screwed, and then just luckily came back to me in the last sector. No, but after the start, Mark over defending, but yeah, I just decided to sit behind everyone and not push until lap 18, where I was only on like 60-something% wear, and luckily that got me the win.
Yeah, you don't sound too impressed, probably basing it off luck, and obviously
could have been better, but it was nice.
Can't get better than first place, mate.
You should be impressed.
Yeah,
but
come on.
Yeah, it was good.
That came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was brilliant. Obviously your qualifying lap was stunning as well, P1, but you dropped 4 positions in the first couple of laps, and Sam still looked very feisty, and also Lewis. out there as well, really fighting hard with you guys, trying to keep with the pace. Obviously Samster, I didn't actually catch the incident on stream, but he cut the chicane and absolutely minced his wing off, so I'm not too sure what happened to him, but he kind of bottled it.
He spun on the curb out of that hairpin.
Oh, a bit of a shame for him, but it's not on about him. We're on about you, woman, because that was brilliant. That is a champion drive. That is, like, to take your opportunity when it comes to you. Nobody did it. Not a single other driver thought in their head to take the mediums that far, or to even take the hards that far. You were the only driver to pull that off. That was it.
Thought about it.
Yeah, you thought about it, but you didn't do it. That's my point. This man, this is my point. This was the only man that thought in his head that was the best outcome, and he put all his eggs in one basket, and he absolutely minced everybody, and it worked to perfection. It was brilliant.
Let's just say he was the only one that did it because I convinced Mark to pit.
Thanks.
So that helped him.
Yeah, that wasn't it. If you were going to pit, you should have went for mediums or soft.
Yeah. Well, how close was you to another penalty? Because I was only 5 points something up. So if you
I only had a 3 second.
Oh, gosh, I would have had you if you had another one.
Well, it was around about 6 seconds, I think, when you crossed the line. So I'm not too sure.
5.8.
But like I say, you all three of you drove really well, including Mark. I don't know why he hasn't joined. Normally he speaks, but you all three of you drove brilliantly. But you know, woman, this what defines a champion. This is what I've been saying. You drive like that, you take an opportunity like that may be 50-50 or maybe 70-30, and it pulls it off. This is, you know, championship winning races.
I hope it fails next time.
You've got the likes of these two who are hot on your tail all the way through the championship. Obviously I'm not going to be commentating F2, I don't believe anymore, which is a bit unfortunate, because you've got Owen Wyatt coming back, which he's actually a good commentator, so you'll look forward to seeing him. But yeah, you've got some fierce competition, but congratulations you two, you did really well, so
cheers.
Great race to watch.
Thanks.
Right, I'm going to end it there. It's been 2 hours. I don't have a life. Yeah, 3 restarts, 2 restarts, faffing about from the admins, but I've been Lordy Boy, this has been F2, and I am moist, so I'll leave it with you. Yeah, take care, see you later.